What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Turn the Jets podcast. I'm your host, Will Parkinson, at Will Pod11 on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Host all 32 Pod, TOJ Talks, the whole 9 yards. Happy Victory Monday. Finally got to say it. A meaningful game. The Jets go on the road to obviously beat the Tennessee Titans. A impressive win, 24-17, obviously, in terms of just the grittiest, the guts, I would say. They kind of all around didn't play their best game by any means. Probably C plus, B minus overall. The second half, obviously, much better. This just isn't a game the Jets win. Over the last 15 years, pretty much. I don't know the last time they win a game like this. So, for me, I just feel like there's some things we'll talk about, in a minute here. Obviously, not great. Jermaine Johnson being paramount, but obviously just some play that was, not typical of some of the talent level the Jets have. But they get out of that game 24-17. They're 1-1. They go home now for 3 of the next 4 games at home. 3 of the next 4 games they'll be favored in by at least 3, 5, 7 points potentially, and then obviously they get Buffalo in week 6. So I guess just from my perspective, I thought yesterday started off and you're just like, man, what is going on? Came out flat. Felt like defensively didn't communicate properly. Just didn't look good. And then offensively, you get a first down to start, but it was a lot of run, pass, a lot of run. It was very vanilla, trying to run at the teeth of the Titans defense, soften them up inside. But in reality, like, part of the reason the Titans defense is so good is based on, Jeffrey Simmons, Tavondre Sweat, Harold Landry, running at those guys. To me, without kind of establishing any of the pass game, any other threat was a weird mistake. So, they go down early. They're down 7-0. It's kind of feeling a little grim. Like, it was 7-0 and the Titans are driving, and you're just thinking to yourself, like, what is happening? This team needs this game. Again, it's early in the season. Could you recover from 0-2? Of course. Do you want to have to be 0-2 with a conference loss against a team you're favored by more than 3 points? No, you don't want that, obviously. So, they get the inexplicable fumble from Will Levis, which was just, man, he ended up obviously kind of blowing the game, along with special teams and stuff, which the Titans had issues with again on Sunday. But, the Levis mistake kind of gave the Jets some legs. They're able to pick up a first down there. But again, drive kind of stalls out. And then the Jets come back and Titans take a shot. Brandon Echols, unbelievable play. I mean, special player in terms of his ability to kind of like come up. Him and Ashton Davis feel like every third game, one of them pops up with an incredible interception or fumble recovery or something of that nature. Great job, obviously, DJ Reed, a late scratch for them. And the Jets are able to kind of to weather that storm. Echols looked good. I thought he played better, frankly, than his counterpart Sauce Gardner, who had his probably worst game of his career, at least from the TV copy, and then watching it again. He struggled yesterday. No bones about it. Watching back the film, he was not good. So it happens. Everyone's allowed to have an off game. The Jets having a Sauce Gardner off game and winning is special. So, the Jets obviously finally get that drive going. They start to get the quick game going a little bit. Start to get Garrett involved a little bit. Brees involved. Braylon Allen comes in the drive, obviously, after I felt like, middle of the second quarter, Brees took a little bit of a shot. He was on the injury report today, but took a little bit of a shot to the quad, probably potential contusion. We'll see kind of what the, outcome of that is. But, Braylon Allen comes in and just gave them some juice. Thought he got upfield quickly. Was able to kind of pick up 4 or 5, where maybe it was a 1 or 2, should have been 1 or 2. And then probably Nate Hackett's best play call of his Jets' tenure so far. They'd run a lot of that kind of swing pass to Brees out to the right side. They set that up. Braylon Allen leaks out. Full head of steam. Jets are in the ballgame, 7-7. Boom, here we go. We're rolling. And it felt like, a couple minutes to go in the half, or I think two or so minutes to go in the half. He felt kind of good. Jets getting the ball. Could they double up here maybe? Could they triple up in terms of that? Chuck Clark has the unfortunate penalty that cost them 3 points there, but they holds firm. And you just go into halftime thinking to yourself, wow, they played kind of shit for 80% of that first half, but Rodgers started getting a rhythm at the end of the half. The offense looked better. Some two-back stuff, which we talked about here, would be great. Didn't get the tight ends involved a ton. They had one early target to Conklin, but kind of used them just as blockers. Saw some Mike Williams, but hadn't seen him involved. Yeah, Rodgers kind of was moving around better, but not moving super, super confident yet. And I'll get to that in a minute. But they come out of the half, and you're like, the Jets never score out of the half. They just don't do it. They haven't happened in such a long time. Come out and punch the Titans right in the mouth and go down and score. Beautiful touchdown pass to Breece Hall. They ran that play during camp. We saw it. It was special then. It was special on Sunday. Great catch by Breece Hall. Perfect throw by Rodgers. Awesome stuff. They go 14-10, and you're like, the Jets are rolling here. And I feel like the defense fed off of that. They have the block punt to go up 17-10. The defense started to play far, far better. Obviously, the play to Calvin Ridley. Chuck Clark, unfortunately, looked rusty yesterday. Still, it looked like his game speed wasn't quite back to full strength. I don't know kind of why, but obviously coming off the ACL, but obviously felt like he had the full camp and full preseason, etc. Should have picked that ball off. I think Ridley came out today at 0.7 yards of separation from Sauce, so nothing really at all. And I think Sauce thought he picked it. I think we all thought he picked it. And Ridley's in the end zone, although he was clearly down short. The NFL somehow doesn't see that. I'm not sure from a refereeing perspective what's going on here. But all that said, it's like, damn, man, this game's going to be another, kind of barn burner. And the Jets stall, kind of going back and forth, jabs back and forth between the two teams. The defense had started to really pick it up. I thought, the second half, they were the Jets defense we kind of come to know. Obviously, they lose Jermaine Johnson, in the second half. And it was really disappointing. It feels super just horrible for Jermaine as a whole, let alone, the Jets obviously struggled mightily without their Pro Bowl edge. They obviously already lost JFM and Huff and Reddick, the whole Reddick situation, which we'll get to more on tomorrow's pod. I just don't really want to cover it on this. I think we just want to highlight the Jets winning a football game yesterday. But yeah, Jermaine tearing the Achilles, he knew it right away. You saw the reaction of players, coaches, just devastated for the guy. He's a leader in that locker room, a player that, a really nice player and also a really, good person for that Jets locker room. So, seeing him, struggling there and getting carted off was obviously tough. The Jets defense stepped up. Doug Quincy Williams had a fantastic game yesterday. Other than one play, was very much the Quincy Williams of all-pro level Quincy Williams of a year ago. In the last 2 years, essentially, the Jets lose C.J. Mosley early in this game. They're now down two of their Pro Bowl level players. Michael Carter's still banged up. They were without DJ Reed. It's like kind of running on fumes a bit, but Will McDonald stepped up, had the 3 sacks, the game-clinching sack and pressure, as we kind of roll along there. The Jets, leaned on Aaron Rodgers in the quick game. Made the special throw to Mike Williams, the special throw to Garrett Wilson, in that last touchdown drive, and the offensive line started to cook. I think they gave up 1 sack, 1 pressure, both Joe Tippmann, but other than that, played well. AVT looked like AVT yesterday. Morgan Moses looked, very strong. Tyron Smith was fantastic. John Simpson's just been steady Eddie. He's been good. Limited penalties. I don't think he has one yet, but just limited, he's one. But he limited penalties to 1 kind of pre-snap penalty. The Jets' offensive lines looked good. They opened up holes in the run game as the game went on. Again, they get 170 yards, 3 touchdowns from the backs. Rodgers throws for another 2 touchdowns. Jets ended up winning this football game. And again, get out of Dodge there, right? 7-point victory on the road early in the season. Team's home opener. Coming, 3 games in 10 days, cross-country flight to then go back on the road again. The Jets sustain injuries. We'll see how Mosley and Reed, for New England. We'll see how Michael Carter. I think Michael Carter will play on Thursday night. They lose Jermaine for the season. Crushing, for sure. But offensively, they're a top 10 offense in EPA per play against 2 really good defenses through 2 weeks. Rodgers got 3 touchdowns. Has started to look better and better. I think he's going to shake off more and more rust as things go along here. I think you leave Sunday going, was it easy? Absolutely not. But look around the NFL. Crazy weekend of games. Raiders going into Baltimore. Cincinnati pushing Kansas City to the brink there. San Francisco, losing at Minnesota. Dallas getting stomped by New Orleans in Dallas. Who saw that one coming, right? I just think to myself, the Jets are 1-1. They're getting the Patriots, on Thursday night, and we'll get into that one. It's obviously going to be a shorter pod. I'll get into more of kind of the film on tomorrow's pod, and then we'll transition to New England. But overall, the Jets picked it up in the second half. A much-needed win. Special team shout out to Irv Charles. Had a special afternoon tackling special teams, blocks the punt. Morstead was good again. Zerline was good. Yeah, and the offensive line. And then Will McDonald and Braylon Allen, kind of the stories of the game, on both the offensive side and defensive side of the football. So a lot to improve for the Jets, a lot to work on, a lot of very preventable and a lot of things they can kind of clean up. But generally speaking, that was a really nice afternoon in the second half. The Jets were able to get out of there, and again, 1-1 going into New England on a short week, who played in overtime. And we'll break a lot more down on tomorrow's episode of the pod, and then we'll have a full in-depth review with New England on Wednesday and Thursday. Want to kind of just get on here, talk a little bit, Jets victory Monday, but appreciate everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you guys later this week.